Easter Sunday afternoon to come along and discuss this important issue for the people of Anglesea. I'd also like to acknowledge today the attendance of the Honourable Sarah Henderson, Member for Corangamite, Greg Barber, the Leader of the Victorian Greens, Margot Smith, Surf Coast Shire Councillor, and Marcus Feeder up the front here as well, who's representing Gail Tierney, the Member for Western Victoria. I should also say that the Member for Polwarth in the state government, Terry Mulder, who's our local representative, was invited to attend today, but he declined, as did a representative from Alcoa. This forum has been organised by Surf Coast Air Action, that I'll refer to as SCAR. We're a group of residents, both full-time and part-time, here in Anglesea. We're all volunteers and we're all active in our community. SCAR is made up of doctors, lawyers, teachers, nurses, landscapers, mums, dads, grandparents, probably bald-headed babies as well. We're not affiliated with any political party or any other environmental organisation. We receive no funding from any source other than donations from the community and our own pockets. We've organised this forum today to open the discussion for the community of Anglesea about something which is going to affect our future. My name's Mark Smith. I've been living in Anglesea for 30 years. Almost makes me a local. I'm probably about 5 years off it. My wife and I have raised 3 children here in Anglesea. They played footy for Anglesea, they played netball for Anglesea. We've been members of the tennis club, the surf club, Coast Action, any number of other organisations. We feel that we are very much a part of this community and have been for quite some time. My task today is to present the state of play with regards to the Anglesea coal mine and power station, and to briefly present SCAR's case for shutting it down. Firstly, some background. The mine and power station were established in 1961 for the specific purpose of supplying power to the Alcoa aluminium smelter at Point Henry in Geelong. Anglesea supplies 40% of the smelter's electricity needs, with the other 60% coming from the Victorian grid. That 60% constitutes 6.4% of Victoria's entire electricity usage. In 1961, Alcoa was granted a 50-year, 7,000 hectare lease by the then Balti government. That lease was renewed in 2011 by the Baillieu government for the princely sum of $4,500 per year, or if you do the math, that's about 60 cents per hectare per year. This mine can now operate, mine and power station can now operate for the next 50 years, which would take it to the year 2064. The mine and power plant currently employ 85 people. The mine pit covers 419 hectares, and the 2011 agreement allowed for expansion into another 246 hectares. So half the size again, roughly. Expansion that Alcoa, however, have chosen not to take up at present. The pit currently goes to a depth of 60 metres. Alcoa has a $13.9 million bond to rehabilitate the site when the mine operations are concluded. In February of this year, Alcoa announced the closure of the Point Henry smelter, as I'm sure you're all aware, with a loss of more than 600 jobs in Geelong. The closure will become effective in August of this year, and the rolling plant will close at the end of the year. In January, Alcoa made an application to the Essential Services Commission for a licence to generate power from Anglesea and sell it directly into the national grid. This licence has not been granted as yet by the Essential Services Commission, but Alcoa has indicated it intends to sell the coal mine and power plant as a standalone power generator. Thus, Alcoa's 53-year association with Anglesea will be coming to an end. I now intend to briefly outline SCAR's case for the decommissioning of the power station and the rehabilitation of the mine site. Some of these points will be expanded on by speakers who will follow me. With the Point Henry smelter closing, we believe there's no longer any justification for the mine and power station remaining open. In the 53 years of its operation, there has never been any indication from Alcoa that the Anglesea facility would serve any other purpose other than supplying Point Henry. The 150 megawatts it's capable of producing is not needed in an already oversupplied national electricity market, which will have another 360 megawatts added to it that will no longer be drawn by the smelter when it closes. That 360 megawatts is about a quarter of the Hazelwood Power Station's output. With the significant uptake of renewables in the market, demand on the national electricity market is predicted to fall, not rise. Due to the high levels of sulphur in the coal mined at Anglesea, large amounts of sulphur dioxide are emitted into the atmosphere by the power station, 32 million kilograms per year. It emits 3 times the amount of SO2 that Hazelwood emits. These emissions of SO2 can be mitigated by the installation of SO2 scrubbers at the plant, but Alcoa has chosen not to install that technology, even though it has done so in similar power stations in the United States. SO2 is a respiratory irritant that's proven to lead to asthma and other lung diseases. The World Health Organization states that there is no safe level of exposure to SO2s. In addition to this, the mine emits fine dust particles that have also been classified as carcinogenic by the World Health Organization. In 2009, Anglesea was listed as one of the 52 most bushfire-prone towns in the state. I'm sure I'm not telling you anything there that you don't know. The recent experience of the fire at Morwell, which we're going to have a speaker talk about here this afternoon, clearly illustrates the dangers of having a mine of such size so close to a community. The mine and power station also lie within the Anglesea Heath, which is a National Heritage listed heathland of international significance. The Victorian Coalition Government has a stated policy of reducing CO2 emissions by 20% by 2020. This plant produces 1.2 million tonnes of greenhouse gas emissions yearly. Finally, SCAR acknowledges the financial support Alcoa has given to clubs and organisations in Anglesea during its time here. This has been both significant and generous. But Alcoa is selling up and leaving. There is no guarantee that any company, whether it be an Australian company or an international company, buying the mine and power station would support Anglesea in the same way, nor that they would limit the footprint of the mine in the way that Alcoa has chosen to. I'd like to finish with a quote from Alcoa, which can be found on the Australian Mining Link website. It says, "Alcoa has always been aware of the need to one day be able to return the lease to the people of Victoria in sound, worthwhile condition and not walk away leaving a great hole in the ground as its legacy. This is our case for closure. We understand there will be people who will disagree with us, but we welcome debate on this issue and the way that it will affect Anglesea into the future." I would now like to introduce Geoff Brown, who will facilitate the remainder of the meeting. Thanks.
Thank you, Mark. The most important role I have today is that of timekeeper to ensure we can all get back to families on our Easter Sunday at 4 o'clock today. My connection to Anglesea and to this group, I've lived in West Anglesea, Airies Inlet, for the last 15 years. About 10 years ago I was involved in a 3 or 4 year project here in town called the Anglesea NEIP, the Neighbourhood Environment Improvement Plan, probably the worst name for a project ever given, but it was responsible for making Anglesea plastic bag free all those years ago. Some of you will remember that particular project, and there's familiar faces who were involved in that all those years ago. And I must say that Alcoa are a huge supporter of that reducing project also. So apart from timekeeper, I've been invited by the group, the SCAR group, to help with today. But what I've noticed in the short time I've been involved with them is they're working really hard to make events like this informative and worthwhile, And today they've invited a whole range of speakers, researchers who understand Anglesea. We've got a community member from Latrobe Valley, and we've got a lot of local knowledge and wisdom in Anglesea, which we'll be drawing on as well in today's presentations. And today is not just about the problem. Today is about the future and the possibility. We're in a context here where it's highly uncertain. Even an email that came back from Alcoa, the final line in it was, things are incredibly uncertain at the moment. And it is for the community, it is for Alcoa, it is for government. It's uncertain times, and that makes this even harder. But one thing that today is also about is the future possibility and what Anglesea could be post-coal. I think that's a really important point. The other thing, from my point of view, I do a lot of work with communities all over the state and country, and I think whatever comes next, beyond coal, whenever that might be, this community is going to want to have a say in what comes next and what it looks like. So on those words, I'm going to hand over to Jacinta Morahan from the SCAR Group and invite her up to get things kick-started. So enjoy.
My name's Jacinta Morahan. I live in Anglesea with my partner Chris and 3 children, and they're all here. A couple of you may have heard me speak before about the health concerns related to the coal mine and the power station. But fortunately, I'm not going to speak to you about those again today. I'm actually going to play you a video. It's only a 5-minute excerpt from a much longer video that you can access from our website. But before I play it, I just want to tell you a little bit about the people who have made the video. It's the Climate and Health Alliance, the Public Health Association of Australia, and also Doctors for the Environment Australia have put together an informative information about the health risks that are very real from both coal mines and also coal-fired power stations. And of course we've got both in our backyard. So I'm just going to leave it up to other doctors to inform you about those health risks.